Hello to all of my peeps. It's so good to see you here today from my chair, episode 109. 109. Last week we began reviewing personality boxes. And let me say this as we begin today's lesson. You're going to have to fight to have good relationships, good, meaningful, wholesome, Christ-centered relationships. Because old Smutty Face, he knows how valuable they are. He knows how necessary they are. And how much you need those relationships. Again, we're reviewing relationship boxes. And we're spending a couple of weeks in review before I get to some new material. With this thing of relationships and reviewing them and things, something hit me the other day. As I read and study Paul's life, just give you a little bit of a challenge here, just showing us how much we need relationships. I'm constantly reminded as I study Paul and his life and his ministry of how vital it is to build relationships and how much time and energy that it takes. Please understand that what God loves, Satan hates. And I'm going to say this, he despises. Satan despises a good, Christ-centered, wholesome relationship. And then what Satan hates, he fights against. He fights against. Take your Bible, let me show you in some of the Pauline epistles. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, let's look at verse number 8. It says this, so being affectionately desirous of you. Again, that relationship. He wanted to build a relationship with these people. So being affectionately desirous of you, we were willing to have imparted unto you not the gospel of God only, but also our own souls, because you were dear unto us. Verse number 17. But we, brethren, being taken from you for a short time in presence, not in heart, endeavor the more abundantly to see your face with great desire. Wherefore, we would have come unto you, and I, even Paul, once again, but Satan hindered us. These relationships, again, as I study these things from Paul, and he desired a good relationship, a amazing relationship with these people, and Satan just kept hindering these spaces. 2 Corinthians, another space I want you to look at. Again, just a little a nugget for you to chew on before I dive into the lesson for today in our review of our boxes today. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse number 4. For out of much affliction and anguish of heart I wrote unto you with many tears, not that you should be grieved, but that you might know the love which I have more abundantly unto you. And then verse 11, again, he's going through this thing, and he says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. So even Paul knew that he needed good, wholesome relationships, and he wanted those things. But what God loves, Satan despises, he hates, and what he hates, he's going to fight against. So, let's get it in our core that there's a much deeper reason to fight and to claw and to work to have good Christ-centered relationship. We must see each relationship as worth it to fight for. Fight for those relationships. And then studying, and let's segue into this, studying these personality boxes is a very valuable tool to help us in that endeavor. So, without further ado, several of my peeps, they asked me to take a few weeks and go over each personality box before we began to study the next element within this topic. I've got some amazing things planned for us, but they're like, wait, please, Miss Edge, go back and review us and help us with that. Let me cite my sources, please. The Road Back to You by Ian Cronin, Suzanne Stabile, The Path Between Us by Suzanne Stabile. Great resources that I've used for many, many years in studying. And as we go through this, you'll see there's some quotes around some things like that. And those are my resources, and they'd be fantastic for you. I want you to pay attention, nail down that personality box. Last week, we studied the Challenger box, box number 8. And again, I'll tell you a little bit later, if you've been following me with this, you know why I started with box number 8. And so I won't go into all that. But last week, box 8, the bull destroyed the box. Go back and listen to that and just get those. So today, box number 9, the peacemaker box. If my box will please you, then you can have my box. It's all about being a peacemaker for box number 9. What is it like to live inside this box? Again, I'm taking the same thing with every box, not showing preferential to one or the other, taking the same elements of every box and handing them to you. So what's it like to live in the peacemaker box, the 9 box? First of all, I'll do almost anything to avoid conflict. They will. And again, I'm going to try to go rapid fire through these. Number 2, I'm not a self-starter. They're not. Number 3, I am a what you see is what you get person. There's not a lot of hidden underneath stuff with the 9 box. Number 4, I often choose the path of least resistance. They don't like resistance, they like peace. That's going to be the big word for 9 boxes is peace. Number 5, I'm happy to go along with what others want to do. Then, number 6, people think I'm a good listener even though I find it hard to pay attention in a long conversation. Oh my goodness. If you're in a conversation with a 9 box, they're a good listener, but when you get to going and going and going and going, it's hard for them to pay attention. It's actually really funny. Number 7, I don't enjoy big social gatherings as much as a quiet evening at home with the ones that I love. And that is that's so true. They enjoy that quiet time alone rather than big social gatherings. Number 8, I'm often quietly stubborn when people put demands on me. They're quietly stubborn. Number 9, I would feel selfish in spending the whole day doing whatever I wanted to do. They would feel very selfish in spending that whole day doing what they wanted to do. Number 10, I don't think of myself as being very important. I hate that, but they do. They do. 9 boxes, they don't feel like they are, they don't think of themselves as being very important. Talk style. I love this. Talk style of a 9 box is an epic saga. They chronicle, they recount the sagas, they daydream out loud, wandering and meandering is their talk style. I enjoy it. I think it's fun because I like stories and storying and sagas and chronicling things. I enjoy listening to my 9 box peep, and very, very much so. And hours and hours and hours. Again, the long conversation thing is good, but I love the chronicles and the epic saga. Their primary struggle, let's talk about the primary struggle, is sloth. But it's different. Usually we think of the word sloth with a physical laziness. But the sloth of a 9 box is a spiritual laziness. They desire not to be overly bothered by life, and they don't want life to get to them. So it's a spiritual type of laziness where they don't want to invest into themselves much, but they don't want to be bothered by life, and they don't want anything to get to them. Their primary, their go-to emotion is, and they want to avoid conflict, so their go-to emotion is they fall asleep to their anger. We're going to call it ignored anger. We talked about external anger last week. This one is, a 9 box, is ignored anger. They fall asleep to their anger. It's forgotten anger. It doesn't mean that their anger disappears. It just means that they work very hard to keep it contained, not just out of everyone else's sight, but out of their own view. Ignored anger. Their word, if I were to summarize a 9 box, like I'm going to try to do with every one of these, they want peace. They want peace. They want inner peace. They want peace in the outside. They don't want bad things to come to them, and they work very hard to keep those things at bay. So what is your path to growth? The path to growth. Number 1, embrace the fact that the absence of conflict is not the presence of peace. The absence of, just because there's no conflict doesn't mean that there is not the presence of peace. That doesn't mean that you have peace just because there is no conflict. I need you to understand that problems don't fix themselves. Problems don't fix themselves. You can't ignore everything by going to bed. Going to bed does not solve all your problems, 9 boxes. It's not going to solve it. You want to do that and ignore all the problems and the issues that are coming to you, but going to bed or closing your door, it doesn't solve all of life's problems. Number 3, there are times when you must assert yourself. It's yours to do regardless of the cost. So then you're going to have to assert yourself sometimes. You don't want to, and sometimes it's going to cause conflict, and that's okay. You're just going to have to do that. It's yours to do regardless of the cost, what it costs you. Number 4, accept that there's no such thing as a healthy relationship that is void of anger, disappointment, and conflict. Healthy relationships, you're going to have some anger. You're going to have some disappointment. You're going to have some conflict in a healthy relationship. It's part of it. I know you try to put up the wall in the bubble, but you can't. You're going to have to learn that with a healthy relationship, there is going to be anger, disappointment, and conflict. You can't be, you can't be healthy and whole if you spend your life setting yourself aside in order to stay connected with others. Number 6, accept that your presence in the lives of those around you matters. You matter. Your presence matters, 9 boxes. They rely on you. They trust you. They want your involvement in their lives. Number 7, when you feel paralyzed in the face of decisions, consult someone who won't tell you what to do, but will rather help you pull out what you want to do and then do it. A go-to person. A go-to person to help you with those decisions. Very, very vital in a path to growth. Number 8, engage. Engage. Keep your cruise control setting to a minimum. Avoid the verbal meandering. When someone asks you how you doing, tell them. Tell them. Tell you how you doing. Tell them straight, not what you think they want to hear, not what you think they want to hear to avoid all the questions and conflict, but what you really feel when they ask you how you're doing. Engage. Engage. Number 9, be aware of the numbing strategies that you use to avoid having to deal with life. Avoiding conflict often causes conflict, and I quote. Though you have some numbing strategies to keep life at bay, don't. It's okay. It's okay, and be aware of those things and those numbing strategies that you do. And then number 10, wake up and say yes to the adventures of your own life. You know what? Your voice matters, and you matter. Your presence matters. That's what you need to hear. Your presence matters in people's lives. So, 9 box assessment, quick assessment of 9 boxes. Are you a 9 box? I have some dear 9 box peeps, and I love them dearly. So, let's look at the next box. Let's look at box 1. We've done 8, 9, and now it's time to do 1. So, what is it like? This is my personal box. The 1 box. This is the perfect box. My box is perfect. Mary Poppins, she's my favorite character in the whole world. Practically perfect in every way. I love Mary Poppins. But yes, this is the perfect box. This is my personal box. So, what's it like to live inside this box? And let me just tell you, every time I see this slide, I want to take that pencil and go right back in there so that they all line up. It drives me nuts. But that's the perfect slide for a 1 box. So let's discuss it. Number 1, nothing is ever good enough. I know. I'm throwing myself under the bus. I'm putting a target on my back. I know. Nothing is ever good enough. In fact, victory is short-lived. It's very short-lived. I could have done better. What did I do wrong? I think I messed this up. Nothing is ever good enough. Number 2, it seems to me that things are either right or wrong. Gray is not a color. It's either right or it's wrong. Period. End of story. There is no middle of the fence. You're either on one side or the other. That's how a 1 box thinks. That's how I think. Number 3, I beat myself up when I make mistakes. Mistakes are very, very painful to me. I will cry over them. They will make me angry inside of my core and frustrated because I messed something up. It's not easy or quickly forgotten. We play it back. And look, when you deal with a 1 box, if you have a relationship conflict, they will play it back. I will play it back over and over and over and over again. Number 4, I worry a lot. I do. I worry a lot. At number 5, we won't talk about the worry too much. Number 5, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Number 5, I like routine and don't really embrace change. I love a routine. I don't like change. I don't like when things are different than what they're supposed to be. And I always have to be careful of my attitude when change happens. We're going to do this instead of this. Wait. No. I was prepared for this, not that. I always have to be careful of my attitude because I really do love routine and I don't embrace change. Number 6, I notice immediately when things are wrong or out of place. I notice error when other people don't see it, and I feel a responsibility to correct it. I told you the illustration of me standing in a grocery line and the thing said 10 items or less, and I stand there and I count the items on the conveyor belt and I see that they've got 15. There's something inside me that says, what are you doing in this line? That's a 1 box. That's a 1 box. And again, other boxes probably have that thought, but I notice error very quickly and I feel a need and a duty and responsibility to correct it. Number 7, I don't like it when people ignore or break the rules. If I play a game with you, which I'm not a huge game person, but you need to follow the rules. Please follow the rules and don't cheat. So I don't like it when people ignore or break the rules. Number 8, whoops, let me go back. Number 8, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. If I say I will, I will. And if I can't, I will die trying. It's one of those things, if I can't do it, then I'm going to feel like a failure, and I'm going to relive it and apologize to you 1,000 times. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I'll add this in for free. I expect you to do what you say you're going to do too. It drives me nuts when you don't. And a lot of people, a lot of these box numbers, they forget. Oh, I forgot. No, you're not supposed to forget. If you tell me you're going to do something, I need for you to do it. Now, again, as you get older, and I'm learning this, as you get older, you forget things. I don't know, that I've had to make lists like crazy so I don't forget things. Number 9, people have told me that I can be overly critical and judgmental. I've really had to work on this the last several years, because it is true. We believe that criticism is caring. If I criticize you, then I care about you. And that's just not the case. That's not true at all. I've really had to back off of being judgmental and critical. And again, it's just that mentality that I want to grow, I want to be in better spaces within my box. And then number 10, I have to daily contend with a pesky inner critic. This inner critic tells me, constantly reminds me of everything that I'm doing wrong in any given day, in any given task. That I've got to do better. So what is my communication style? But one box, this cracks me up. Sermons, teaching, correcting. If this is your communication style, then you're probably a one box. Sermons, teaching, correcting. Want to be? No, don't do that. Okay, let's fix this. Yes, that's a one box. Reminding of obligations. I always have to watch my tone in this communication style. And my primary struggle of the one box, I hate this, but it's anger. It's anger. You're like, well, wait. Anger was the same for a box 8. External anger. Anger was the primary struggle for box number 9, and that's internal anger. And it's a forgotten anger. I don't want to ignore it. I'm just ignoring this. But ours in a one box is anger, but it's we internalize the anger. We don't push it away, we internalize it. As we internalize the anger, the best illustration that I could give you is steam building up in the pressure cooker. That's a great illustration of how a one box handles anger. And it shows up in our go-to emotion, which is resentment. Yes, resentment. So we don't. It's not an outward anger. It's not an ignored anger. It is literally an anger that it's internal, and when it blows, it's not pretty. That resentment happens, and that's that result of that anger in a one box is resentment. They turn their anger in on themselves. It makes it feel like shame, and then shame as a really bitter quality of that anger. So what is the path to growth? Oh, I will say this. I want to give you a summary slide. They have a compelling need to perfect the flaws. We do. One boxers have a compelling need to perfect the flaws, no matter what it is. If it's on the road, if it's in driving, if it's in school, if it's in your house, if it's in the bathroom, if it's anywhere, in a grocery store, no matter where you are, we have a compelling need to perfect the flaws. So what is our path to growth for one boxes? Number 1, we're going to have to surrender our compulsive need for perfection. A person does not need to be perfect to be good. We've got to surrender that. That compulsive need it doesn't have to be perfect. Number 2, stop stifling your emotions, particularly your anger. We've got to stop stifling those things. Number 3, you can't live in a world where everyone attends to details in the same ways that you do. The lines in the carpet, I love straight lines in the carpet of our church or in my house. I love good straight lines. And, well, what do you do when they're not straight? You know what? I learned to walk away and say, thank you. I'm so thankful that you vacuumed the carpet this week. You can't live in a world where everyone attends to details in the way that you do. Number 4, accept that your way is not the only right way. That's hard. That's hard for a one box. Accept that your way is not the only right way. It's not so much, number 5, about how many times you forgive somebody else. It's more about the swiftness of the forgiveness. We tend to make people want to earn forgiveness, and that takes time. But as a one box, people shouldn't have to earn forgiveness. Christ-like forgiveness is to forgive 70 times 7. And then the number 6, you'll need to learn to ask the question, is this mine to do? Is this mine to do? You're going to cut out a lot of stress when you answer that, honestly. Number 7, you can seek perfection, but you can't have it. No, perfection is momentary, then something shifts and everything changes. Perfection is momentary. Number 8, be mindful of the times when you take things too seriously. Mercy sakes, I'm preaching to myself today, oh my goodness. Be mindful of that, because you do take things, I take things, especially myself, way too seriously. And then, of course, worry less, laugh more. My peeps, my inner core peeps, my inner circle peeps, they have a daunting task. Is to help me laugh, help me to worry less and to laugh more. What do we need to hear? We need to hear that you are good. You're good. Good, not as in, it's all good, it's all good. No, we need to hear that we are good. I am good. I'm a good person. I'm good at what I do. I am good. I need to hear that, especially with the inner critic. Next, that's box number 1. Let's go to box number 2. Box number 2 is I need you in my box. It's called the needy box. I love the little puppy here, the needy box. I need you in my box. So what is it like to live inside of a 2 box, the needy box? Number 1, I am generous, but I often consciously or subconsciously expect something in return for my effort. I'm generous, but I expect a return. I expect a return for my effort. Number 2, I care a great deal about what other people think about me. I'm very self-conscious. I want to know what everybody's talking about. Are they talking about me? Were you talking about me? Were you talking about me? A 2 box feels that great deal. Number 3, I'm more comfortable giving than receiving. It's very difficult to give a 2 box anything. If it's a tangible thing or a compliment, it is very difficult to hand them something, anything, a compliment or a tangible something. They're much more comfortable giving than receiving. Number 4, I need to be acknowledged and appreciated for my contributions. If you, oh Lord, love you 2 boxes. If you don't thank a 2 box for something that they have done, you're not nice to them. They don't like you a whole lot. Why didn't they say thank you? Why didn't they enjoy? Did they like that? Was the food good? Did they like what I gave them? Did they like the compliment? They have a need to be acknowledged and appreciated for the contributions. Number 5, it seems like people who love me should already know what I need. It drives me nuts with a 3. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that because I'm not a 2 box. I have a 2, maybe a 2 wing sometimes. But you should already know what I need. I should not have to tell you everything. You should already know what I need. So then when people ask me what I need, I have no idea how to answer. No idea. They fear that no one will respond to their need and they can't manage that pain and disappointment. What do you need? I don't know how to answer that. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you because I'm afraid that you won't meet it, and then I'll be sad and I'll be disappointed. Number 7, I worry a lot about being forgiven when I make mistakes. They want to be forgiven when they make mistakes, and they worry that you won't forgive them when they do make mistakes. Number 8, I try to have a relationship with everyone. And that's a problem because not everyone can reciprocate that. Not everybody can reciprocate the type of relationship that you want with everyone. Next is I need to be needed, and then helping you is my strategy for earning love and bolstering self-worth. They need to be needed. If I help you as a 2 box, if I help you, that shows me that I have earned love from you. I want to earn love from you. I want to invest. I don't give as much as I invest, and I expect a return on my investment. So then, what's the communication style? The communication style, got that, there we go. I went back too far, my bad. Communication style, sympathies. Sympathies. meeting needs, befriending, supporting, offering friendly advice, getting personal, comforting someone. They're great comforters. 2 boxes are wonderful comforters. They want to sympathize with you and empathize with you as a 2 box. Their primary struggle is pride. Pride. Which seems crazy because they appear to be so selfless in their personality, but their struggle with pride comes into play when they believe that other people are more needy than they are, and they alone know how to best meet that need. They relish in this myth. You relish in the myth of your own indispensability. I am indispensable. I'm the only one that knows how to meet these needs. Well, that's why their primary struggle is pride. I'm the only one that can meet the need, when really that's not the case. That's not true. They struggle with pride because you relish in the myth of your indispensability, which makes their go-to emotion martyrdom. Yes, martyrdom. It's the quest to attain love by meeting needs. Let me meet your needs so that you will in turn meet my needs, although I won't tell you what they are, and you will love me because I meet your needs. And again, I love Luke chapter 10, verse 38 to 42. Martha meeting the needs and being compelled to serve. I love this. And then summary things. How will you respond to my help? I want you to respond to what I do for you with appreciation and bucket loads of gratitude and love, love, love. I want, because I'm meeting a need for you. So, what is the path to growth for 2 boxes? Here we go. Number 1, stop making people figure out what you need. Tell them directly. Stop making people figure it out. Tell them directly. Most people are too busy to sift through their own needs, much less guess at your needs. I'm just being honest. I'm sorry. I'm just being straight with you. People are too busy to guess at your needs. Just tell them directly, what do you need? Number 2, you need to look for satisfaction and belonging from the inside out, as opposed to expecting it to always come from somewhere or someone outside of yourself. You need a belonging from the inside out. In other words, people need to validate me. Okay, wait. Just find satisfaction and belonging inside of you and inside of your walk with Christ. Number 3, you must learn to let others make their own free choices and then either suffer or celebrate the consequences. They need to make their own choices. Back off, back up, and let people be people. Let them make their own choices. Next, understand that not everything is yours to do. Give exactly what's yours to give. Do what's yours to do, and fix what's yours to fix. It's almost like a 1 box. I need to meet that. I need to do. No. Do what's yours to do and let other people do what's theirs to do. Number 5, learn to give to others free of charge with no expectation of reciprocation. Oh my goodness. Give with no expectation of reciprocation. If you could learn that as a 2 box, that would be an amazing path to growth. Not everybody owes you something because you do something for them. Do it willingly. Give it willingly. Do it willingly with no strings attached. Then, grab hold of the truth that you're loved for who you are, not what you do. You're loved for who you are. Abandon earning love. Number 7, abandon the manipulative strategy of earning love by helping other people. We need to abandon that by learning, number 8, the difference between self-interested and altruistic giving. Self-interested expects a payback. Altruistic giving comes with no strings attached. Something I would like for you to learn. No strings attached. Then, number 9, you can't have a healthy relationship with more people than your life can accommodate. Every yes you say in one relationship requires a no in another. Figure out what your life can accommodate and then have relationships with those people. Number 10, understand that it's okay to ask yourself, what most needs attention in my life right now? What do I need to do right now? You're so busy fussing over everyone else, just forgotten to fuss over the things that you need to work on. So, what do you need to say? 2 things that you need to have said to you. Number 1 is this: you are wanted. 2 boxes, you are wanted. And the second thing you need to hear is you are worthy of love without having to earn it. Without having to earn it. Life is relationships. Life is relationships. I want us to work on all of those relationships that are in our lives. Are you a 9 box? Are you a 2? Are you a 1? Are you a 2? Study those things, and let's start paying attention to ourselves and to those around us. Don't forget, Lydia at 11 in her journey to remain cancer-free. Now go be amazing today.